Friday. All right. So, like I just said, these are, you gotta, hopefully you've been doing all the assignments like you're supposed to up to this point, because now when you're looking at it, you have to recognize what you have, okay? It says solving equations involving like terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms first. Now, you can only combine like terms if they're on the same side of the equal sign. Okay? So this 2t and 4t are on the same side. They are like terms, so now I can combine those, and that is 6t equals 12. After combining like terms, you look at it, you might have a two-step equation, you might have a one-step equation. In this case, it's a one-step because there's only one operation. So we undo that operation. So to undo this, we're going to divide by 6. And we get t equals 2. Now on number 2, you need to be able to do 3 minus 2. Whether you do it in your head or on a calculator, but you got to be able to figure that out. But you also have to recognize that these are like terms. They're on the same side of the equal sign. So I can combine those into one term, and that would be 1h equals 19. You're done. You don't have to divide by 1 because you get 19. Okay, so h is 19. 1h is 19. Number 3, very similar to number 2. You need to be able to recognize, first of all, I have two like terms on the same side of the equal sign. I'm going to combine those, and when I combine those into one, you get 2q is equal to 6. And then to undo multiplying by 2, we divide by 2. And we get q equals 3. Now, do you see that I'm writing stuff down? So when you're doing your IXL today, you also have to write down on a separate sheet of paper. Okay? Number 4. On this one, I would rewrite all the subtracting to adding the opposite to clarify what is happening. Okay? So this is 8x minus 15x. So I would rewrite that as 8x plus a negative 15x. Minus a minus is plus 8x. And then minus a minus is plus 6x equals a negative 7. So that's my first step. So now when you're doing this in your IXLs, you don't have to copy this down on your paper, but write this down on your paper. Does that make sense? Okay, because you're going to rewrite all this as subtracting, changing it to adding the opposite, and then now I'm going to combine all those terms. Remember, I can only combine like terms because eventually we're going to have it where it's going to be a little more mixed up. But I can combine these terms. 1, they're like terms. 2, they're on the same side. Okay? So then I combine them. 8 plus a negative 15 plus 8 plus 6 is 7. X equals, and then that's a negative 7. On your calculator, you would go 8 plus a negative 15 plus 8 plus 6, and it should give you 7. So you get 7x equals a negative 7, and then we divide by 7, and we get x equals a negative 1. Number 5, I'm going to change subtracting to adding the opposite. That's my first step. So I have 10x plus 3x plus 10x plus a negative 17x equals negative 12. Again, these are all like terms, so I can combine all of them together into one term. 23 minus 17 is 6x. When you combine all this together, you should get 6x equals negative 12. And then to undo multiplying by 6, we divide by 6. And we get x equals a negative 2. Number 6, you can rewrite the subtracting, adding the opposite, but hopefully you can go 9 plus 5 is 14, minus 4 is 10. Hopefully you can do that, okay? Or on the calculator, do that. That shouldn't be too complicated. So when I combine those, that is going to give me 10x equals 20. And then again, we're going to divide by 10. We get x equals 2. Number 7, I have some subtracting a negative, so I'm going to rewrite it because that's a little confusing. So this is going to be a negative 4t plus 16t plus a negative 16t equals negative 18. These are all like terms. They're all on the same side, so I can combine them, and we get a negative 4. And that is equal to a negative 18. And then we divide by the negative 4. Now, on the IXL, you can put the decimal or the fraction answer or the improper. Okay, you don't have to do mixed number. Okay, this is going to be 18 over 4. 2 goes into both, so you get 9 halves. So you could put 9 halves as an answer, or you can do 4 1/2, or you could do 4.5. It'll accept all of those, okay? But it will mark this one wrong, okay? You have to simplify that to 9 halves, or many of you have a calculator, so you'll probably just put in 4.5. Number 8. On number 8, hopefully you recognize that I only have these 2 like terms on the left side of my equal sign. I can only combine these 2 into one term, which would be 2y. I still have the plus negative 13 equals negative 15. Remember, I cannot combine a variable term with a constant term. Apples and oranges, you can't put those together. Okay? So, now I have what type of equation? Got a 2-step equation, right? Hopefully you recognize that. So I have to undo the adding a negative 13 by adding 13. I'm going to run out of space, so I'm going to write it over here. I'm going to add 13 to both sides. When I do that, I get 2y is equal to 2, negative 2. When I add 13, I get negative 2, and then I divide by 2, and we get y equals negative 1. Y equals negative 1. So when you're combining terms, make sure that they're 1 on the same side, and 2, they're like terms. Number 9. I can't combine all of these terms on the left side. I can only combine the u terms. Okay? 6u minus 4u is 2u. So this will be 2u plus the 4 is equal to 10. I now have a two-step equation. Okay? So you'll solve it just like a two-step equation. You will subtract 4. 2u is equal to 6. And then divide by 2. U is equal to 3. Questions on that one? Okay, last one, number 10. Again, recognize you can only combine like terms. Your only like terms are the 2r and 5r. When you combine those, you get 7r. Now you have a two-step equation. Let's wait on the computers, people. So then we subtract 1, 7r is equal to 14. Divide by 7. R is equal to 2. Question. Okay, remember we're skipping the computer Y10. We are doing the computer Y11. So go ahead, do the IXL Y11, then any late work that you need to do. Did you finish that test equation stuff that you said you were doing? And then you had a question. Yes. No computer games, right?